Hey everyone, this is Paul. Today we have a special guest with us, RonaldBaumiller. Ronald is managing principal of Baumiller Patel Consulting. Hey Ronald, I would like to welcome you for this interview. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Just a little by way of myself is I was born career-wise. I was raised in academia, so I'm a PhD, but I studied philosophy of all things. But I transitioned to the business world, and we've been running a management consulting firm. We specialize in executive search. So also in higher ed, that's where we started. But everywhere else, we can do it because we know how the job's supposed to be done at that level, and we're very good at it. But yeah, we're just plugging along. And again, thank you so much for having us.
That's great, Matt. So there'll be a lot of learning from you today, Ron. So little about myself. I'm Paul. I've been working in Xfinity Solution for about 3 years now. Xfinity Solution is basically an IT and ITS service provider company, and we do also provide service in virtual assistant space. And we've been operational for 3 years now. We've been operating since 2017. Now, a little bit about this survey, the objective of this survey, because we have been interviewing business owners and executives like you for about, it's been about three weeks now. And just to understand what is their strategies to combat with this situation and how they're dealing with the clients during this economic downturn, and what are the strategies they are implementing to come out of this situation, and what are the future challenges they see, and how do they expect the government and the big business houses should act during this time. So we have been getting a lot of stupendous response from several brands and corporates, and I'm looking forward to learn more from you as well. So this is the objective of the survey. Now, if you're ready, I'll start shooting you the questions, man.
Yeah, no, and something else I should tell to your audience that
That's
I
great,
didn't
man.
mention, that I'm on the board of directors at the American Marketing Association.
Oh, that's great. Uh-huh.
So that will help inform you, like both lanes.
All right. So I'll be getting a
Yeah,
lot of valuable insights from you today. That's great, man. I'm looking forward for it. So let me start asking you the question. The very first question: have you ever faced any such time as this before? The one which you're having right
yeah,
now.
yeah, all the time. Like it was like last year and the year before and the year before. No, the way I approach this, I know it's unprecedented. Everyone knows it, and everyone has their own challenges. From like even just the day-to-day household management, like dealing with your children, to the actual what we're talking about right now. Everything's different. But the way I approach it, and then whenever people ask me a question like you did, as every single year. Every year it presents its own challenge. Every year presents its own challenge, and you got to handle it in the way that's lucrative for your business. And if it's not lucrative,
All right.
you got to make sure it's good for your employee. Because it's kind of like that. My old man, I come from blue collar work. I'm from Pittsburgh. My old man always said, "Happy wife, happy life." That was his motto that he taught me. But I always think of it in a business perspective, and it's happy employees, happy business. So if you can especially now, think of your employees. I guess that was a long sideways answer to your question, but I mean every single word I just told you.
All right. So you're saying that the challenges are always there. I mean, since you've started your business or getting
out
got
of
into
control
every
now,
year you're
right?
facing a new challenge. All right. So this is one
But
of the.
I don't know who exactly our audience is, but what I would say to them is think of it like every other year. I know this one's unprecedented, but gotta think it through and worry about
All right. Yeah. So this is really a great learning, because you should not be tense or worried because you've been facing this sort of a challenge every year, and so
There are
in year to
always
come,
challenges.
all
Can't
there's
get away
always
from
challenge.
it. When we're out of the woods with the pandemic, the same problems are going to be right there again.
Exactly. So you have to be ready. I understand.
This is the
So
big problem, right?
so connected to
Well,
my first question, the next question to you would be, as you already said, there are challenges every year. So, is your business seriously affected by this pandemic, particular this year?
yeah, I was mugged in the street. That was how bad the pandemic hit me, where I was knocked down and put out, and I was in the hospital, so to speak. It is incredibly difficult, especially because I work in the I'm a management consultant, but in the professional services industry, the money's not there. So they don't have that. I had so many clients that were saying to me, "My God, Ron, I'd love to like engage with your company, but I can't do so because 40% of my workforce is laid off." And a way to just be able to talk with them about that is a language that honestly I'm still learning. I know I'm supposed to give you the pearls, but I haven't figured out myself. But the biggest thing, how you handle it, is you handle it like a humanist. What I mean by that is you approach it with an attitude that you both understand the situation you're dealing with. It's kind of like what I was saying with the answer to the last question is you approach it and that we both understand the circumstances and it's absolutely crazy. So how can we get ourselves through this, especially from the B2B side of things, business to business? How do we approach this in a way that we can just understand? I think it's a big thing. Understand situation from each people, both sides, from the B, like on both sides of the B, respectively. That would be the way I'd answer that. I honestly believe it. It's a humanitarian time. Everybody's in charge. Everybody, and we all got to get through this thing ourselves.
That's really
And
important,
we got to figure out a way, as a small business owner to like big corporate people, we got to figure out a way to just get through it together. Because we all need each other. Everyone knows that, but it's just how to do it. So just approach every situation, especially if you're trying to be a seller or if you're a business owner and you're giving a service, be flexible. Everyone needs your help.
All right. So obviously, this is something which is a good learning again. We should grow together. We should help each other. We should support each other if we want to sustain in this doldrum situation. That's really important insight as well. So my next question, as you said, about the challenges. So I would like to ask you about the challenges. What challenges in particular you're seeing in future? I mean, say for example, if I ask you to pick up five most challenging situation which you may face during next 5 years time for this pandemic, what would be those challenges?
It depends on the market, honestly. So do you have any in particular that you want me to talk about? Because I work across all of them.
No, I mean, in general, what are the challenges you see in future after the COVID situation is over, post COVID
Right.
situation? What are the challenges you think a business owner like you and me might have during
So
this
right,
future?
yeah, I'll just hit a couple. Like I'll give you five. How about that? So right now, healthcare booming, right? Healthcare, you think is booming market, right? No, they're not. They're exhausted. So moving forward,
All right.
it's going to be whenever we, and then there's a fallout too with healthcare.
Mhm.
Because whenever we don't need them anymore, like we're sinking all this money into it, but all of a sudden the rug's going to get pulled out from underneath of them, and then their workforce, even the high level workforce, the rug's going to get pulled out from underneath of them, and that's just going to be dead. Not dead, obviously. It'll never die. We always need hospitals.
They
And
never.
they're our first line workers, and like I'm the first one to be like, thank you so much. But I'm telling you, like when you watch it, all this money's getting sank into it, and they're going to pull it from them whenever this is all done with. Whenever this is done with. I don't know when that is. That's going to happen. And then it reverberates downward from there. So if you want like a good market right now to like jump into, it's like Amazon, the supply chain people, in e-commerce. Those are booming. But they're going to run into the same problem I just said about the healthcare people. And it's going to, I'm telling you, it's going to trickle down one to the next.
All right.
And then we're going to who's actually selling to these people. That's the manufacturers. And when we get to the manufacturers, again, it's
they're all
it's all
interconnected.
down and walk. So you'd be very nervous about that market. Right now, if you want to scoop in and make some money, hurry up, but make sure you're conscious of when to get out. And then everything else is going to flip back around. But it will not be retail and consumer goods like food and beverage. You know what I mean? They're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. I love them all, and I was just telling a colleague of mine that once a day I insist on ordering from a local business. It's not a chain for dinner. Even if I can afford it or I can't, I'm just doing it to help my local community. That's something. So yeah, I don't know. I'm too nervous to talk about that industry to advise people on. But the one I would actually throw my stake in is in your usual bread and butter, like your big corporations, like the banks and that sort of thing, because they're still doing very well because they're putting out these PPP loans. I threw an extra P, but and everyone needs help with their money always. It's like death and taxes, right? That would be where I would look right now if I had to say in the matter. And it might not be the most lucrative, like healthcare, supply chain, and everything I talked about at the beginning of my speech.
Yep.
But yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking on my feet. That I think that would be where I would put it.
All right. That's again a great learning or great understanding about the entire situation which we are going to face in future. The challenges are pretty correlated with each and every industries. As you said, the healthcare is going down, and then the retail, because the manufacturing is not showing good. So obviously, yeah, there are.
And to caveat you, it's all depending on like the situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, there'll always be a thing. It will always be a thing. But right now, it's trending up.
Now going up, yeah. So that's your future prediction.
Yeah. Trickle back down.
Yeah.
Through the whole, like I was saying with the supply chain. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, so this, again, like you've already spoken about my next question. So I'm going to ask you the next question, which is again pretty much related to what we have discussed right now. Is how do you see the economy in the near future? Economy of the United States.
Oh boy. I don't know. I think there's a political issue to that. To be quite honest, and I hate to get political because I'm the least. I just moved back to America, but I was born and raised here. But I just moved back, and I got to dodge in my adult life all the politics. But now I walk into a very difficult climate to assess.
Yep.
If I can put it that way. And I honestly believe that I don't know if I should say this out loud. I'm going to say it. It really determines upon who our next president is, as to how you want to hedge the market. Yep. So there's if one president gets elected, that's one market that I would be focusing on. If the other president gets elected, there's a whole different market.
All right.
I'm not going to answer your question directly because I don't want to get political.
Yeah, all right. So you're saying that
that's what I would say in high level terms. If one gets elected, if one other gets elected, that's where you start looking.
So that's what you're saying. So election plays an important role for the economy.
In my opinion, yes. That's my humble opinion. Yeah.
That's obviously your opinion. I understand that, but most of the people who are No, that's
Like,
okay.
yeah, no matter who gets in there depends on which one you want to look at in the economy, and I think the economy will be fine because Donald Trump did a reasonable job on the
Yep.
back of the last administration, and then we're putting somebody in there from the last administration. So, like, I think the economy will be fine.
Economy will be
But
fine,
where
no
when you
matter.
want to make business decisions, that's up to whoever gets in there. If that makes any sense.
Of course, that makes really sense. And yeah, so I've been interviewing people, and they are also saying the same thing. So it depends on the election. And the election plays a very important role, and a lot happening out there in USA, and election is really going to be playing a very important role for the economy, future economy of the United States.
I
That's
believe so.
really great. Yeah.
I hate to say yes, but yes.
No, I understand that. Now, can you just help my viewers to understand in what are the areas you are actually helping your clients, and if you can just speak a little bit about your business and your organization, that'll be really great. And to for my
Yeah, real,
viewers.
real fast. So we have management and consulting firm, but we call it that because what we do. We're basically recruiters. The slang on the street is headhunter. So we're on a high level. So we only do executive search. So if somebody needs a high management level, C-suite, board, president, CEO, that's what we do. So I mean, recruiters with my mother, because she comes from humble roots. That's what she calls me, but it's not actually the case because it's not what we do. So yeah, we work on a really high level, and we do any industry. I know higher education very well, and I worked in Wall Street, so finance is like go to for me. It's really easy. Like I know because I know what I know. I can tell if the guy, if the guy or gal is really sharp or not. My partner, he's IT. I'm from Pittsburgh. He's from Boston. He did something really amazing. He worked on the financial study for the Boston Olympics if they were going to have it there the next time. And he said no. So if you wanted it in Boston, it's his fault. It's Patel. You can look him up on the website and yell at him. Um, we know everything. From like easy, simple accounting by way of the higher ed and those complications to dealing with the biggest construction companies in the world and everything in between and HR, IT, you name it. That's what we do. So if somebody needs help finding an executive they can't find on their own, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but if their team's not going to be able to find this person that's a critical hire, that's what we do.
Oh, that's great.
That was my lame elevator pitch.
All right, that's great. So, yeah, so my viewers, if you need any of the services or any of the, I mean, the whatever Ron said, then you can always reach out to him. He will help you out in
Oh
those
yeah,
areas.
I'm on LinkedIn. Get me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, sure. So I'll share the details with this video. You can reach out to him. So my last question would be, or it's not a question, or it's more like a study, and I just need to understand your view on this. So a study says that keeping a virtual assistant, as we are working on virtual space, so we did a study on that, and especially during this time where we are going virtual, everyone is going virtual. We are not going to the office, and people are mostly working remotely. So during this time, if you are keeping a virtual assistant who will do your work at your back end, so that you can go and do your work at the front end, like front end business. So do you really think keeping a virtual assistant during this time can save your time and money and can help you grow your business even faster than ever? What's your take on that?
My take on back end work. My partner, if he was here, he would jump in the screen and knock me over. My partner would say, I need an assistant. That's how I am. And I've always had one, so I'm spoiled. Judge me, whatever. But right now, the issue is if somebody is doing that kind of work, problem is how do you get somebody to hire you to do it? Because right now I won't hire an assistant because I can't afford it. So how can you sneak in and get the value in, or readjust your numbers to make sure it's affordable to them? That's my advice to those assistants. Figure out a way to sneak in and make sure you have to be an expert where they know they don't want to train you because they don't have time for it because everyone's hurting. So you
Absolutely.
got to come in there like you know exactly what you got to do. Like they worked there for 20 years, and it was somebody's mother who's going to retire in like 5, and it was a 40-year career. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
That would be it. If I hired a guy to be my assistant right now, I don't have time to train him, and I don't want to pay him much, unfortunately, because I don't
Of
have the
course.
money.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you get in there. So when you come in there, you're going to give them so much value. They're going to want to pay you the salary that you deserve. That's what I mean. That's the other thing, dude. Don't take.
Yeah, that's
Don't
what
short yourself. Yeah.
I was about to tell you, because if you're outsourcing your work, this virtual assistant work, you can hire a team at a price of a fractional employee. Whatever you might be paying for to an employee in your country, you can hire a team at the same price. So that is
That,
what where we are playing an important role. As just to tell you that we are a virtual assistant service. So if you need any of the services, you can always reach out to us. So we do end-to-end virtual assistant service, and I'm also going to share my details with all of you viewers. If you need any of the virtual assistant services, you can always reach out to us. So thank you, Ron, for your time, and this was really insightful and educative, and your views will really going to add a lot of values to our survey. We are going to continue this survey for about 3 weeks to a month or so, and then once the survey is over, I'm going to share with you the survey report where you'll understand what other business owners like you are thinking, and this way you can also, like, we can learn from each other, and we can fight the
yeah,
situation.
that sounds great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you have a great rest of your day, man. Bye bye.